Good morning. It is time for the Guard of Honour for Chelsea for Liverpool. We are here for a pre-match, a watch-along, and a short post-match as well after the fact. I'm joined by Sir Z, the only other hardy soul in American Scouser TV. How are you, Sir Z?
I'm good, thanks, Mike. How are you?
Not too bad. A nice night's sleep for a change. But of course, for some reason, dreamt about a walk thing. Escape it when I'm on my days off. But we are here these are dead rubbers at this point for us, for Liverpool, just racking up points and getting minutes for players, which is not a bad thing to be in a position with 4 games to go. But it's away to Chelsea. There's probably bragging rights involved, at least for the players, but it's a much changed team, Sir Z. Let's have a look at that lineup. Surprises in the midfield. Endo, Elliott, and Jones, the central midfield. We talked about rotations on the Thursday night pod, and sure enough, we got them. Jota up front, Gakpo on the left, and then Tsimikas as left back, and Kwanzaa as the central defensive partner. At this point, we questioned a little bit what our thoughts on Arne Slot would be if he went with the same strong 11 he's gone for the last 33 games. 34, whatever it is. But this is the title's won. This is a recognition of that, isn't it? It's you've done the work, lads. Have a break.
Yeah, definitely. It's even at the dead rubber games, we still kind of have a say in who gets into the Champions League as well. Obviously, Chelsea are going to want to win this game to get to stay in that top 5, and then we've got Arsenal next. Where Newcastle kind of slipped up. I think they could have been 2 points behind them if they had won their game today. So we're still in control of the top 5 with a couple of the teams. But yes, it's not a completely disjointed team. There's still players out there that worthy that should be winning games. Not sure about Jota up front. I would have, maybe tried Chiesa or try something different to having Jota up there. But it's just weird seeing Costa's coming out instead of Robertson for that Guard of Honour. But it is what it is. Glad that was playing. McAllister obviously much needed rest. Gravenberch much needed rest, and Szoboszlai too. So it feels like an FA Cup team. This does.
I mean, that's like a perfectly accurate point. It does feel like an FA Cup team, but at the same time, a balanced FA Cup team, because Harvey Elliott and Curtis Jones will give you X amount of things, but we really always need a number 6 in there, and we've got one in Endo. We've waxed lyrical about Endo. If he was younger, different story altogether. But the age that he's at, he's the perfect player for a game like this, isn't he? He's not expecting to be the superstar starter. Happy to plug in when he gets the opportunity, and that's what he does. He just plugs in and does the job. Not spectacularly, but certainly not dreadfully. So the freedom we talked about, I think, on Thursday or the last post-match, that we would maybe approach these games, we could be in for some entertaining stuff either way. Because you reckon it would be a basketball type game, a basketball score. What do you reckon?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, we've still got Virgil Allison in defense. That midfield, yeah. I mean, Endo, obviously his age goes against him, but what he lacks in pace, he makes up for intelligence and experience, and which is what we need, and that's why he's the captain of Japan. And it's just ironic that he's on the same pitch as Lavia and. I think Casado will be, and Casado. So the 2 players that we were going for at the time, where we wasn't even thinking about Endo, he's going up against him, and he's getting a Guard of Honour from them 2 players that said no to us. So it's kind of ironic, but it's well deserved for Endo. In terms of basketball game, I still think Virgil has enough professionalism, and Allison has enough professionalism to try and keep the goals out. Obviously Allison wants to as many clean sheets as he can get. So I think on paper, it shows that we might be taking this game lightly or whatever, but I don't think they are. And I think some of the players out there are may still be on the periphery of next season and wanting to prove a point. It's like Scott said earlier on this week. Next season it's already started. So some of these players are there to prove a point and to obviously stay within the Liverpool team next season. And why wouldn't you? We're top. We won the league. Again, probably one of the favourites going into the Champions League for next season. So these players leaving this club, the only way is down. And even if Trent leaving, if he goes to Madrid, as things stand, he's going to a lesser club than us. So yes, apart from Trent, all these other players, they've got a point to prove, and maybe in a balance of whether they can stay here next season or not.
I mean, like, especially for the Trent thing, it seems for all intents and purposes, Ancelotti is going to Brazil to be the manager.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a fresh slate there at Real Madrid, which means, Ancelotti and the board may like Trent Alexander-Arnold, but the new guy coming in may not. He could be walking into a nightmare there, couldn't he?
Yeah, exactly. And it's I think it's going to be Alonso, and I don't think he'll mind having Trent there. But like I said, they can get a complete disciplinary manager, and he's not going to like Trent because I don't think managers know what to do with Trent. He's a world-class player, but he's not a world-class defender by any means, and he's shown he can't really play as a midfielder. So it's just. Is like one of them tech players. He's got all the skills and attributes to be elite. You just don't know where to put him.
Let's have a look at the Chelsea team there, because the game will be kicking off soon. That, to me, looks like a statement team almost, but a team that, is Caicedo really the right back? Are they that suffering for injuries right now, or rotating players? Because they did well in Europe during the week, didn't they? They gave themselves a cushion on Thursday in the European game, didn't they? Were they 4-1?
Something like that. I mean that competition. Even Cole Palmer's not even in that squad. They left him out of the squad. So I don't think they're taking it seriously. And they just obviously, I think they're going to win that without a doubt. I think now, this is a team. I think sitting fifth in the Premier League, they don't want to take a chance that they might come out of it. So I think they're going to go hell for leather today.
I mean, I it's the thing about the European trophy. I think for me is that Maresca is under a tiny bit of pressure by the Chelsea fans because it promised so much for a little while there. We're getting the guard of honor there for anybody who's watching or who's not watching, and relying on us. Fools to give you updates, but that's what's happening now. Chelsea are giving us the guard. It's a lovely sight to see, it has to be said. It's a joyous sight to see Chelsea lining up in two lines to welcome the champions, who are Liverpool Football Club.
Man United.
Yes, seriously, that's the only thing that can make it better. And
we have Arsenal next week.
Virgil's walking out there with the next right back from the academy, probably. I just don't know, some kid mascot there, but in terms of Chelsea, Maresca, a little bit of pressure. They looked like they were going to do something for a few games there just before Christmas, and then it's kind of not being consistent. And if you look at the Chelsea forms, there has been a bit of criticism of them. So even if they're not taking it super seriously, that European trophy in his back pocket would help him immensely going into next season, wouldn't it, in terms of credit with the fans?
Yeah, Chelsea, they're just such a clown club, and just to know that there's clubs worse than them is just comical. You just don't know where you get of them, and for the political vitriol that Abramovich got, he ran that club well, and it's one of them clubs. You could win the league or the Champions League, and you still don't know whether you have a guaranteed job the next season. But it served them well. I think since Bowley came along, that you just don't know what's going on in that club. You don't know what their intentions are, and I think Hullet came out this week in his interview, and Bowley didn't even know who he was, and I think that speaks more to the nature of the game now in regards to who these owners are, and and I think we spoke about it on the Thursday podcast a couple of weeks ago in regards to the globalization of the game, and now what we love as hardcore football fans. The game unfortunately has been taken over globally, and the fact that Hullet made that point just shows where we are with the game right now, and we're just assets now to these American hedge fund owners and so forth, and it's not they don't take it as serious as what we do emotionally, and to them it's just like money churning. And so you look at this Chelsea team, and for them to fall off in December, it's not surprising because it just doesn't seem as cohesiveness in that team, and you need managers there for a good 2-3 years, or with players that, like Slot said, he didn't want to make big time changes when he came in, because teams, they need to gel together, and they need at least a season or two to gel together. And Chelsea players they just don't get that time. Every time a new manager comes in, new players come in, and the other ones get kicked out, and they don't have that stability.
Just before, we've got like 30 seconds to go, let's have a quick look at the subs benches. What do you think of it? I mean, we've got the big hitters on there. Susie, we've got Kanate, we've got Robertson if needed. Bradley's on the bench. We knew he travelled. We didn't know. I mean, he might get a few minutes, but I couldn't imagine he's going to get anything substantial. Jabo, McAllister, Diaz, Nunes, and will we see Chiesa make an appearance, do you think?
We have to, don't we? I mean, you can't make that guy travel all the way from Liverpool to London every other game and not give him at least like 20 minutes just to get his medal. I just don't see why he doesn't like him. Like, to play Nunes above Chiesa week in, week out is it's comical.
So we are going to get the kickoff here. And for no reason whatsoever, but if you're imagining it in your head, Liverpool are in red, kicking from left to right. Chelsea are in blue, kicking from right to left. Let's move this for a bit. Let's do this and then do this. I don't know why I'm doing a funny voice there. There we go. Good stuff. So have the score up for everybody to have a pay attention. But Liverpool on the front foot instantly, Susie, right up to the 18-yard. I mean, an early goal here would be funny, wouldn't it?
That would be.
It would be hilariously funny.
Especially
if I probably think that we're going to not be as diligent as usual. Spencer says we're underway. We are indeed. And a bit of danger there already. It looks like we're not taking this any less seriously than any other game. Maybe Slot told them if they don't try, they're not getting their medals.
Salah wants his records.
He wants his records, indeed. Maybe that's the focus for the next 4 games.
Yeah, and to prove to Chelsea, I mean, the team that didn't want him, the team that let him go, he has points to prove there. Not that he really needs to.
Just for the benefit of the people out there, we are turning comments off. Well, not turning them off. You guys can still comment, but we're not reading them because sometimes your signals are quicker than ours, and we know the goals before they happen. That takes a little bit of the surprise out of it, and we all want to be surprised when Endo scores a hat-trick. You got to live that thing in real time, yeah. But look, we certainly haven't seemed to start. I know it's only 1 minute and 43 seconds, but we certainly haven't relaxed into this game at all, have we?
No.
The only issue that would be a mistake. That's the only thing I can think of, is that we get a bit too
cocky,
hectic about it. I'd give Jackson a yellow for that. You kicked the ball away. You clearly knew it wasn't getting the ball.
You have the question intelligence of players. I know you've said it before. Footballers are stupid. They just do stupid things.
That's why they're footballers. Here's my question. Outside of Cole Palmer, I think he's an obvious one. if we were to take a player from this Chelsea team for next season, just in the realms of fantasy, which one would you look at?
Casado. As much crap that we given him.
There you go. Chelsea opened the scoring. I think, who's called that? Somebody, I'm not going to look at the comments, but somebody called that. Chelsea are going to open the scoring. Enzo with the goal. Kind of opened us up like a sardine tin there, to be fair. But I believe it was from a mistake.
Yeah.
We'll have to look at that back and see how Maka was right again. Whose mistake was it, though? Let's point the fingers and shout at the player who won us a Premier League trophy. But it better not be Endo, though.
I think it was Endo.
It was going down the left side.
Yeah, it was Endo.
Well, I mean, he missed the ball, but who was marking that player?
He missed the ball, yeah. Costas was running with him. Marking the player, it was Endo.
No, the player who scored.
Trent
scored 10 yards of space. Trent Alexander-Arnold again. Taking the player that's not the danger. Because you really, the basic fundamental defend is you mark inside out from the ball outwards.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we're saying. Like, there's a lot of great, like, you know, out of 10 great qualities a player might have, attack and defense, Trent probably has 8 of them.
Yeah.
But in the defensive side, 2 of them are important. And one of them is marking at the back post. Like, you spot the danger. But that's partly the issue of giving Salah no defensive responsibilities whatsoever. Is he going to leave your right back exposed? This is probably why we need a proper right back and not a frustrated midfielder.
Exactly.
But nevertheless, this is a game where you're looking at that goal and you're saying, I don't care.
I think Kazi will be it might well be a basketball game. Because if Trent's going to play like that.
I'll tell you 1-0 Chelsea attacking again. And out for a goal kick.
With 5 minutes gone, you can already miss Maka.
Yeah, no, seriously, we do. And let's not to disparage Endo, because we're all, I'm sure, friendly fans of him, but as tired as he is, Gravenberch does get himself into some nice awkward positions for opposition counterattacks, like without fouling. Yeah. That's the only issue for Endo, is he's worth a foul or two during a game. He walks a thin line a lot of the time. That is, I don't care how, if you earn the millions that Cole Palmer's earning, surely you pay a stylist to get your hairstyle correct.
Or just shave it off.
What is he doing with that? He looks like, Trent is possibly joining Real Madrid. Cole Palmer looks like he's possibly joining a monastery.
Right.
Right, so it started off brightly for 1 minute and 43 seconds, and now it's falling apart. Probably, let's be a little bit fair and generous. Probably a function of players that haven't played together outside of training games, playing together for the first time this season with 4 games to go. So it wouldn't be too harsh on them. They are league champions after all. But nevertheless, answering the question as to why some of them don't get regular starts, maybe this early in. It's the consistency that gets Gravenberch, McAllister, and Szoboszlai positions to get.
I think the key is, players like Virgil and Trent and whoever, they've got their places guaranteed. Obviously, Trent was staying, he'd be guaranteed. I think that one is just more on players like Elliott and Jones to play themselves into contention. I think Endo's accepted the type of player he's going to be, and he knows he's not going to be first team. But yeah, players like Jota, he needs to turn up.
Seven minutes in, still Chelsea 1-0. We've done our usual early season thing already. Just slowed the game right down. Yeah. I mean, that's how little we care, I think. Like, it was a tactic beforehand But today, it's probably like, just don't stress yourself, lads. It would be nice to only go through the season with the 2 losses, though, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely. I think he goes full strength against the Arsenal game.
Oh, almost definitely. Free kick on the halfway line. Chalobah on Jota. I mean, these are the last knock-ins of Diogo Jota, really, if there's any logic to the transfer policies, isn't it?
I think so.
He's not the player we knew before and loved and bet on.
Yeah. I think we've just left him behind. The injuries are taking its toll. And
as they tend to do with players. The older you get, the harder it is to recover from them.
It's just how you reinvent yourself. I mean, look at Van Dijk, the injury he had, and the season after that, he struggled, but then he reinvented himself.
Good counter-attack on here. Oh, shot from Gakpo, I think it was, yep. From the left on the right shot. Well held by a Bond villain, apparently. There's certain types of goatee that just make you look like you're
Oh, God. Is he offside?
Right, so he better be offside because Becker's on a high. Oh, he is offside.
Yeah, he is.
That's good because Becker's on hiding for a red card there.
Yeah,
lying out for that. This is almost like a clock back far offside trap defense so far today.
Yeah, that's a really high line.
I mean, he doesn't catch him. That's the good thing. You can see he pulled back a little bit, but still a bit wild.
It's like hair. Looks like
seriously. He looks like he's looking for a shampoo sponsorship or something like that for next season. Or maybe he's grown his hair long so he could be the 6th guitarist in the new Oasis lineup. You know he loves a bit of Oasis.
He does.
He could have
I know he can play the guitar.
Yeah, he was on like when he first arrived. Like one of the clips I think was him playing like Wonderwall and Live Forever and stuff like that. Gakpo with the ball on the left. Nice attack to nobody.
Come on.
Now, this really, now we heard it during the week about Elliott saying he wanted to stay and fight for his place. Yeah. But this is a game where he has to oppose himself, isn't it? He has to like show Slot that he doesn't need to have his hand held in midfield to be effective.
Yes, but then I think the other players around him need to perform as well. And that's the worry is, you don't want players like Van Dijk and, Kwanzaa or Salah to fall off their form because, Elliott needs players around him to be good as well for him to perform. He's not the type of player that can just grab the game by the scruff of its neck and make an impact like that.
Jones lost the ball and did a great job pressing it back and forced as a throw in on the right side. Now there's a second ball on the pitch, and now there isn't. You get great commentary on this Watchalong, kids. You get great commentary. I'll tell you exactly when the throw-ins are happening.
If you're watching in black and white TV, Liverpool the ones in red.
Liverpool are the team in red. But I mean, we're not. Chelsea have kind of managed, especially with the goal, to get the balance of the game in their hands. But if I was to look at the stats, I'd say it's probably maybe 51% to 49% in their favour. We're not sitting back by any means.
No.
We're just not gelling at all.
And that's why they make a whole bunch of changes.
They're clearly there's a lot of space as well. That's the other thing. They're clearly up for it. Beating the champions on their first game after the championship is a Salah with the ball. Gakpo with a great cross across, and Salah just not able to make it. And then one of the Chelsea fans showing his IQ by the strategic use of sign language.
When are these fans going to learn? All you're doing is winding these players out.
I mean, he was either doing that or he was doing a repeat of the old gold blend or was it Nescafe?
Oh yeah,
Coffee ads.
Goblin.
Remember those?
I remember. Oh god, yeah, I forgot about
The shaking of the hands, which I'm not doing here because we might get taken off YouTube. But yes, I remember that. Now, how that survived, because when those ads were on, I was a wee innocent young kid.
Yeah, who's the woman that? I remember she was quite.
Well, it was if it was if it was Nescafe
It's a
rather
gold
than
blend. It
Gold.
was a
Was it Gold
yeah.
Blend? I
It
thought
was
Gold
gold
Blend
blend.
was
Yeah.
Anthony Head and oh, what was her name again? Sharon something or other, and that was the like, I've run out of coffee. Oh, you come
Yeah.
up time for coffee. I don't like coffee. I've seen your interior decorating. I'm not coming up, or something like that. I thought
Yeah.
Nescafe was Gareth Hunt and possibly Joanna Lumley. I think that was the handshake.
I didn't know. Oh really? Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, I think I'm remembering
Maybe
that
that's
one
what
right.
it is then.
I'll have to check that out at half time. Yeah, that's the proper analysis everybody's waiting for, is whether it was Nescafe or Gold Blend for the handshakey commercial. Oh, a nice idea for that ball there through to, I think it was Elliott, but just too much pace on it. Carlton Palmer or Cole Palmer rather, getting ready for Vespers there with his haircut. I mean, you could almost say Simicast maybe. I don't want to give Simicast. It's just 10 yards of space in the box. It's never just. Here's the thing, though. It's never just one error in the loss of a goal. There's always a domino effect of it.
Should be cut off at midfield. Again, that's what.
Important. Looks like a free kick here. I mean, that's a bowl haircut. That's like his mother put his bowl over his Cocoa Pops bowl, or Cocoa Krispies if you're American, bowl over his head. I just went. Says I doing the action around my lack of hair.
No, that's a Peter Beardsley haircut.
And a Peter Beardsley face, to be fair.
Face for the radio.
The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Come on, we gotta do better than this.
He can hear the bells like Esmeralda from all the way in back to grow. Apparently, that's what Peter Beardsley sounded like, and that's something he said. It was in his book.
I can never understand what
it was his autobiography. I'm glad I was a footballer because I'd have never made it as a model.
Isn't that what Peter Crouch said once? I think someone asked him, if you weren't a footballer, what would you be? He'll be a virgin.
I think, yeah, I remember that, yeah.
Cucurella is another. He's so overrated. Just don't see.
I think it's the hair. I think if he didn't have the hair, nobody'd care.
And it's the shithousery that he has as well. He's just a complete idiot.
But the thing about that, Chelsea with a dangerous attack in the box and neutralised. And the thing about that is that when it's your player, you love it. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, we can talk about like Jamie Vardy, but if he was knocking in 20 goals a season for us and doing getting up to all sorts like he did for Leicester, like we'd be like, that's hilariously funny.
But Jamie Vardy, I mean, he's won something. You can, and I like Jamie Vardy, but Cucurella, yeah, you won the Euros, but that wasn't because of you. You just happened to be in a good Spanish team.
Yeah.
Spain just don't have a better left back.
What was I going to say there? Simicast always looks like he looks like me. Like he needs 12 hours of sleep 3 days in a row to catch up or something like that. He just looks unhealthy.
He looks like Droopy. The cartoon character Droopy.
Yeah. It's definitely an open game. I don't think anybody's dominating one way. I didn't even realize it was only 17 minutes gone. 17 minutes gone, folks. It's quite action packed, to be fair. We haven't had more than one shot on target, I would imagine.
I don't think we have had one. Oh, I think there was that Gakpo shot.
Yeah, the Gakpo shot, I think, was it. I think
Simicast is playing for his future.
I think Simicast is it who's on the left side or the right side there for Chelsea's Enzo?
I thought it was Casado. But Enzo's on the right. He's the one who got him.
Yeah, I think he might be afraid of his pace because he's running early. Simicast is like before the ball is even being played. That was a minor factor in the goal against us because he went too early instead of just letting him be offside.
I think that's Neto actually on the right.
Oh, Neto, yeah. I knew it had 4 letters in it. I'm good at crosswords. But yeah, I think he's afraid of his pace because he's going a fraction earlier than you'd think he needs to.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have to be afraid of his pace if he just takes some melatonin and get a good night's sleep. It'd be fine. See, it's not an unentertaining game for a dead rubber.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Like either team could score here.
I think Chelsea have got something to play for.
They do, yeah.
And that's what helps the neutrals anyway.
Nobody's trusting Trent with the ball there. Okay, Allison did. He listened to me.
That's the problem. When you make so many changes, it takes a while to get into the game, and before you know, you're already like 1 or 2-0 down.
I think the thing for Endo, just looking at him there, I think the thing for Endo is if he had a killer pass on him, he'd be very much coveted. But he just keeps the ball ticking over. It's the same. It was the same with Joe Allen. Joe Allen was not a bad technical player at all, but he just had nothing that stood out apart from his chickens. I think he was Brian's favorite player for the chickens.
Oh God, I forget we had Joe Allen, the worst fella.
It's a nice bit of play there in the ball. Oh, bad touch from Salah.
Come on,
ball, and we're back on the defense again. Kwanzaa, he's doing immature young person things. He could have turned in and gave that ball back to Allison. Kicks it out for throw in out near our box on the Chelsea left side. Liverpool are playing from left to right if you're watching on the radio. I think for like if there's any young people watching this, there was a time when Chelsea were muck, like absolute muck, and their ground was muck.
Yeah, Stamford Bridge.
Like they don't know what they've like. If you're a young Chelsea fan, you don't know what your predecessors had to deal with as a Chelsea fan.
It's like playing on sand on that pitch.
Yeah, it was like and it was one of the ends was there was no roof on it. It was uncovered, if I remember. Or were we thinking of Millwall? It was another team in blue. There was no cover on. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Another sorry London club.
Chelsea was not better, to be honest with you. It's definitely one of them grounds just get as an away fan, you're scared to go to.
Mm. I just want to go back to a time in football where players didn't just have tattoos all over the place. I don't get it.
I don't either.
I mean, I don't mind. I no objections to tattoos per se, but covering yourself in them, I failed to see the appeal. Having said that, my back is riddled. No, I'm only kidding. I don't have any at all. Too many scars. The sun is out now in London, and it looks like a Saturday game almost.
It does. It's raining out here in California.
Yeah, it was raining here last night. Our approach play is good, but we've no final ball in this game. No, that was terrible. That's why Endo doesn't get started.
Yep.
I mean, he just wanted to keep the ball ticking over. That was worth a shot there, probably even.
He's got a shot on him as well. He can score.
Yeah, he can score. He just seems to be like psychologically too invested in helping others instead of you know being a bit selfish.
It's got that Milner about him.
Yes. And that he's 105 and he lives on Ribena. Another attack petered out there. Again, another nice idea, but the final ball was not that good at all. We're back on the counter, though, almost instantly from the goal kick. Throw in for Liverpool down by the Chelsea box. Confirmation there from the TV people that were the champions. But Chelsea or Newcastle, only drawn today, I think, wasn't it? In the end, 1-1 against.
No, they lost.
Oh, they lost in the end.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, it was 1-1 the last time I looked. Or was that VAR?
No, I believe they lost.
I'm just checking here because I can't check on my computer because I'm running out of battery power. No, it was 1-1.
Oh, 1-1? Okay.
Yeah. 89th minute penalty.
Oh, yeah, that's what I missed. Yeah.
Free kick, I think, there for Liverpool. Fell on Gakpo. I mean, it was it's definitely not worth the yellow. So I hope we can get one. I think Caicedo is playing left back for Chelsea.
Yeah, right back.
Oh, right back, Premier, yep.
Yeah.
If you're listening on radio, that's the other side of what I said. I don't know why Tsimikas is standing over this. He made one good corner, and now he thinks he's the free kick expert.
He has a couple of good crosses on him. I think
he's the Glenn Hoddle of Chris Waddles.
I think he's a bit more productive than Robertson with the crosses.
He's going to make an assist now. That's the problem. I'm going to look like a moron. No, he didn't. Thankfully. Hey, love you, Tsimikas. Ball back into the box. It's still Liverpool. But again, no final ball. It's petering out on the vine, to mix of several metaphors in one sentence. Here's my question, only because I've just seen him with the ball there for the first time in a while. Do you think Trent isn't going to push himself too hard because he doesn't want to get injured and spoil any move to anywhere?
I don't know. He's playing like he's played for the last 2-3 years for us, so you can't tell. Like he's just such a Jekyll and Hyde player. Like when he's on
lovely turn by Endo.
Yeah.
Liverpool on the attack there from a Gravenberg style turn from Endo in the middle there, and we're in the box, but we lose the ball. Chelsea kick it out, not for a throw in. No, we still retain it. This I know I'm probably not going to be Cosly's favorite player, but this game needs Diaz.
Yeah,
everything's coming to our left, and that's not a slight on Gakpo.
No, Gakpo's played well.
He's played well, but I think
game
Diaz scares defenders. Really well.
Yeah.
I think you know what you're going to get with Gakpo. It's just a matter of whether you can stop him. But Diaz can be a bit loco sometimes. Crazy legs, as we call players like that.
I played Diaz ahead of Jota up front, to be honest with you.
Oh, or that even, yeah. Because I don't think we've seen Jota since that time he got fouled.
No. It's like we're playing with 10 players.
No, genuinely, I don't want that to sound like a slam from me on Jota. He's been a great servant, but he literally hasn't done anything. He's not making moves. No. He's not shown for the ball. I think he's maybe more affected by the injury than he'd like to admit to himself.
I think so. I think psychologically, that's what Daniel Sturridge would go through.
Yes.
You feel a little twinge, and you just psychologically just already told yourself you can't play, or you don't make them runs.
Wandering around the pitch, dreaming of all the Raquel's yogurts he was going to be eating after the game.
Yeah.
You remember that? His big thing about Raquel's yogurts that he said he wasn't endorsing personally, but they were really good.
Who's that, Sturridge?
Sturridge, yeah. When and 13, 14, he was every interview he was talking about Raquel's yogurts. Still 1-0 for anybody who's watching. It's an entertaining 1-0, to be fair. If you're a neutral, you're not losing any money out on this. But Liverpool's final ball just it's appalling sometimes. It's a good idea, just executed poorly. And with no, as we just discussed, with no real number 9 to target, everything's going through Gakpo. You kind of, if you're going to do that, you kind of need Robertson making his runs, then Tsimikas.
Yeah.
Nice ball across into the middle. Still fighting for Jones. He rarely loses the ball. That's what he's great for.
His close control is amazing.
Yeah. And his Elliot with the ball here, central roundabout to D. Nice switch.
Come on,
Trent. Useless. Go to Madrid. We don't care anymore. No, only kidding. And we get a throw in from a foul. That's great. Love that. And then we wasted. I don't understand wasting throws like that.
No.
If it's not,
that's why we had a throwing coach.
We did have a throwing coach for about 5 minutes. And then they probably looked at the budget and goes, why are we teaching these professional players to do something they should have learned when they were 10?
I think with a throwing coach is more tactically how you prepare for them, more than an actual technical throwing.
I mean, how many hours a week do you need to know to get free from your markers and make runs into space? Oh, nice idea there. Didn't capitalize on that second ball around the 6-yard box as we would like to, but we're retained possession. We seem to be picking up the pace here, Suzy.
Yep.
Bit more intensity, but again, final ball in. That's what we need. We need a final ball in coach. That's what we need.
Imagine we had a midfielder.
None of your marginal gains nonsense. Great tackle there by Kwanzaa.
That was a good tackle.
That's Kwanzaa's problem is he can do an immature thing and then an incredibly mature thing and everything in between that. He just needs to shorten that gap. He'd be flying.
Yeah. I think going back to the throw-in coach, I think I saw when we got throw-ins, we were conceding more goals from our own throw-ins. And I think that's why they brought the coach in.
I mean, I'm hardly convinced Enzo could walk down the street with no clothes on and nobody know the difference because of all the tattoos. He's got a stupid haircut too.
Yeah. Oh, Chelsea finally got a sponsor on the shirt. I just noticed that. They went pretty much the whole season without a sponsor.
No, I didn't. I pay zero attention to anything Chelsea related that doesn't involve Liverpool, so I didn't even see that. What is it? Is it some sort of diarrhea medication?
I don't know.
I hope it is. They give me the runs, I'll tell you that much. Damak. That wasn't the plug, by the way, YouTube. Thanks. And there's another thing. So they haven't got money for proper haircuts. And for some reason, they can't take corners that beat the first man or go into the middle of the box. I really don't understand that. Professional players working at least 10 hours a week on their game.
Yeah, so I guess their sponsorship they only got this week. It's $1 billion sponsorship. Apparently, they're a property company.
That's not as fun as a diarrhea medication.
Yeah, I just smell some Man City-ness about this.
Yeah, there's a bit of that about it. So Chelsea being dangerous right now. You get a goal kick out of it, I believe, but they put a bit of pressure on the box there. A little bit of 6s and 7s because we can't clear a ball. And then, could have been nasty. Off the crossbar and out. Could have been a Jordan Pickford Everton Divock Origi special. Possibly the greatest goal in Liverpool's history as far as I'm concerned.
I think now Alisson's. The Alisson goal.
That was the most dramatic. I think showing Jordan Pickford up to be the terrible goalkeeper that he is always a good thing in my book.
Yeah.
32 minutes in, 1-0 Chelsea. Enzo with the goal. Enzo. A fairly balanced game, has to be said.
It is. It's just that one stupid mistake.
Yeah, we've stopped making so many of them. So Chelsea really haven't done anything constructive except for the set piece. Although we're playing with fire here with that possession game, trying to build out from the back, and we just lose a throw in, or gain a throw in rather near our box because we didn't play it long up to the players that get the goals. Just want to point out that was our throw in, and Chelsea just nearly got a chance from it. Free kick to Liverpool, I'm assuming, the way Enzo's walking back.
Yeah. The more I read about this damn sponsorship, the more shadier it is. I guess they're building a whole bunch of properties on Chelsea, and they're paying $1 billion just for the rest of the season to be on their shirt.
That reminds me, I have to do laundry today.
Oh, God.
There we go. Nice long ball up the top to nobody, but still gets us forward. See, Elliott gets the ball to take the throw and then throws it backwards to Trent Alexander-Arnold, who was 15 yards behind where the throw-in went out. So we've lost an advantage for that. Stupid. With his Super Noodles hairstyle. That's an interesting debate for us expats. Super Noodles versus American ramen. I'd take Super Noodles all day.
Super Noodles all day. It was less salty.
It was less salty, and there was
you had better flavors.
There was no mush to it.
Yeah,
and you could get it in curry flavored. Can't get. I haven't seen it ramen noodle in curry flavour. Trent with the ball, cross to the back post, and a corner for Liverpool. Neto's a handsome devil. Has to be said.
Yeah. So out of all these players that are playing, out of the fringe players, who do you think stays next season?
Out the obvious ones, because obviously Alisson, Van Dijk.
Yeah, apart from obviously stalwart.
I think Endo stays. I think his ability, his willingness to be a part player helps him.
Yeah.
I think Jones and Elliott stay. I know we all think he doesn't like Elliott, but I think Elliott stays. And then, I mean, Kwanzaa, I don't think he's going anywhere anytime soon. But Gakpo. I mean, Jota, it'd be easier. Jota, Costas, I think Trent's gone. And Simic, Costas, sorry. And that's it, I think. From what's on the field, I think Chiesa goes and Nunes goes as well off the bench.
I think Chiesa stays. I think Jota
I mean,
Nunes
I like him too because he shows flashes of excellence. But I can't remember an Italian player working out at Liverpool, and I don't think he's got quite the mold. And it's usually
I can't think of too many Italians that have played for us, apart from Aquilani and Balotelli. I don't remember any other Italians playing for us.
I'll have to check that. I thought there was another one. Was there not a goalkeeper?
Oh, and Donadoni. Not Donadoni. What was his name? He played on the left for us.
It was just Downey, wasn't it?
Downey, yeah.
Was he not Brazilian?
No, that was a goalkeeper, Downey. There was another one. He played on the left for us. He scored against Man United. Desena, that's it.
Oh, let's go. It was Alberto Aquilani, Andrea Desena, Daniele Padelli, Fabio Borini, Mario Balotelli, Paletta. I mean, there's a fair few of them. None of those worked out.
Well, Paletta really was Argentinian. He just happened to.
Was he just have? Oh yeah, that's true. Well done, Google, for getting it wrong. But yeah, Fabio Borini. another one who had like a lot of potential, just the wrong level.
So remember
Probably
that game he came on against, was it Sheffield United or Stoke? He lasted 5 minutes before he got sent off.
Yeah. Biting his hand with that knife chop thing.
Yeah.
37 minutes in, still Chelsea 1-0. Haven't had cause to change the ticker below. Liverpool are playing from left to right if you're listening on the radio. We're not on the radio, so if you are, that's a freaky thing to be happening there.
If he makes changes at halftime?
No, I don't think at halftime, but maybe 60. Maybe Jota, actually. That'd be the change I'd go for. He hasn't done anything. Definitely. I think Jota goes. I don't think anybody else can have cause for a complaint or have cause to be taken off.
Yeah.
And for anybody watching, there will be at least a short post-match. Half-time will be us going to the bathroom. Not the same one because we're on opposite sides of the country. So that will be impressive. You never know what modern-day toiletries. That's not even a word. So we're playing like the calm slot ball, and we're creating chances for assists. Let's put it that way. But the final ball on the assists has been terrible.
Yeah.
If we could get that right in the second half, we're probably 3-1 up by the 70th, 80th minute. We're not playing Salah into the game too much.
We're not taking this seriously as we probably would if we didn't win the league last week. But.
Yeah. That's a good point. We'd have obviously the main starters on. Ball out for a throw. Who did it go to? Went to Chelsea, I believe.
Even just the intensity, it's to be expected, I guess.
I mean that's the thing is Chelsea are playing with a normal game intensity, but almost we're kind of going through the motions, aren't we?
Yeah.
We want to be intense, but you're kind of like at the back of their minds, they're like, there's no need. We'll have a normal level of intensity. There's Simicast there, wishing he could be back in bed with a quilt and a pillow and a cup of Ovaltine. Set him on his way. So who's everybody warmed up there? It looked like,
yeah, except for Chiesa.
Except for Chiesa, there has to be something up with that, like a stupid clause or something like that. You know,
I just don't get it. Like, you have to pay another 15 million if he wins the Premier League,
or maybe it's one of those like he has to be on the bench even if he's injured kind of a deals. You know, something stupid. It makes no sense for him to not warm up when everybody else did.
And he's a world-class player as well. He's got to offer more than Jota is.
Something has to have happened. I'd love to know the story behind that because it's just not logical.
And I understand all these post-match interviews and pre-matches why no one ever pulls him up about it. It just never comes up.
Yeah.
Like, but at this point, we really don't care about Trent. We all know he's leaving, so don't care. Just ask about Chiesa.
Throw in for Chelsea in their half on their left-hand side. Right back to the keeper. Jota finally getting involved in something and then slows down.
It's going to put a hammy.
Our final ball is just so bad in this game. It's careless. That's the word I'm looking for. It's careless. Neto with a nice shot there, wide of the post though. Dazzling Simicast with his dashing supermodel good looks. He looks like a young Errol Flynn, which is good because if he looked like a modern day Errol Flynn, he'd be a bag of bones and decay. Nobody wants. That's what Simicast is for.
He does have the Errol Flynn look.
He does. He has the little moustache. Errol Flynn was an actor for when people were black and white in the olden days.
There we go.
And Chelsea goal here, 2-0
Yeah. Offside.
or offside. I have to be honest. I don't like the late flag thing. I don't like much modernisation of the game, but I really don't like the late flag thing. If it's obviously offside, just play the flag.
What happened to the semi-automated offside?
I mean, huh?
What happened to that semi-automated? I thought that was.
Yeah, no, yeah,
That
that's a good point as well. Maybe by semi they don't mean that it was automated. It's just only working half the time. It's automated half offside that works 50% of the time. Free kick for Liverpool there, foul on Salah just over the halfway line by Cucurella and his hair.
God, well, what is that? Seriously,
It's spare telephone lines, I believe.
it looks like lint from a dryer.
Coming up to half time, still Chelsea 1, Liverpool 0. And another poor pass. Like I would take Gakpo off as well, just for that. He's been playing quite well in general, but
I think he went for the pass, and then whoever he passed it to wanted to dummy it, and it didn't work out.
Trent smashing Maresca into the bench. Oh no, it was Maresca. Yeah.
It was
slot there for a second. 44 minutes and 9 seconds. Chelsea in possession, and Liverpool. I mean, to be fair, we're not giving up. I can imagine like the last 5 minutes or the going into injury time, if it's still 1-0, just like play it out. Jones called for a free kick there, and Palmer there. You know, from the hand actions, you just go, "What's that like? What's that like? What's that like?"
Calm down.
But yeah, it's we're not lacking enthusiasm in the game. We're just lacking quality. And Salah's going to start. I think Salah will start visibly getting frustrated in the second half if he doesn't look like he's going to score.
I'll bring on McAllister. And Diaz.
I think Elliott really isn't imposing himself on this game at all.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not. I know he's a young player, but he's not a kid. Like you know, he's not straight out of the academy or anything. So you should be. I don't think it's unfair of us to expect him to be a dominant midfielder with all the talent he has. It's kind of like Harry Wilson. You know, like Harry Wilson wasn't a dominant player at Liverpool, but put him in a smaller pond. He was definitely a big fish. And I'd hate for that to be the same case for Elliott, because I think he's a more talented player.
Oh yeah, overall. Definitely. He's got all the talent. He just lacks pace.
Pace and but even if you don't have pace, then have a bit of psychology.
Yeah.
Half time there, Chelsea 1, Liverpool 0. Was it Enzo with the goal?
Yeah,
Enzo with the goal, not the handsome Neto. But yeah, I think Elliot just not he doesn't have any sort of physical. You don't have to always be fast, but if you're not going to be fast, be physically imposing or hard to get the ball off or something. But he doesn't do either of those things. Now, with that being said, it is time for emptying bladders and filling drinks cups. So we will be back in maybe about 12 minutes or so for the second half. We're going to mute our mics, put a nice cheap little graphic up for you, and then we will see you all back in the second half. Have a good one. Here we go. There might even be some funky music for you. Okay, and we are back. There we go. Suzy is back. I'm back. I got to take these glasses off so I can actually see what's happening. Some interesting comments there during the game. Simicast needs some sleep from Mr. Battered. Hasn't slept since he joined us. That's what we've been saying all along. He hasn't slept since he joined us. And also, camera on Chiesa because he doesn't do anything. Yes, we're looking at Suzy posted after the halftime. Chiesa, Diaz, and Mackett. Come on. I think we all like to see Chiesa, but we'll see how that works out for us. I don't know whether it's going to work well at all because he's just an anomaly. We don't know what's going on with that guy.
Conundrum.
It is a conundrum. It's a countdown conundrum, in fact. Suzy, I mean, we can't get angry. We can't get upset about the half. We haven't played desperately bad or anything like that. But clearly, as has been on the Discord channel, which people should be looking at, Elliot is not impressing, and Gally on the Discord channel says that's why he doesn't get starts. It's fairly obvious, isn't it, why these players, some of them aren't starting at all?
Yes, but I think the outlier is when you're making so many changes, and now you've got three midfielders that are trying to make an impact, and they don't know how the others are playing, and I think that comes into it's a disjointed midfield. So I think it's unfair to try and judge Elliot completely on this game. He has Endo behind him. He doesn't play him regularly, or he doesn't play Jones regularly. So, I think it's a little bit unfair to judge Elliot on this. I mean, we've seen what Elliot can do when he comes off the bench, and so he's definitely an impact player for sure. I think given a consistent run of games with a consistent partnership in midfield, I think he'll show what he's potentially has. But to use this game as to beat him over the head with, I think that's a bit unfair.
Chelsea kicked off. Liverpool are now playing from right to left, if you're watching on the radio. But that's the point Gally made, though. You can see why he's a perfect impact player, Elliot, but with starts, he just gets lost in the mix. And that's, as we said before half-time, is you need... I mean, we're not just judging him on this one game. Like, when he starts, he doesn't tend to have as great an impact as when he comes off the bench. But if he wants starts, that's something he's going to have to change. You have to make yourself obvious to the manager. There's no rocket science to it. No changes from either side, it looks like. So we're as we were. There's a nice little hoarding advertisement there for Damac, whoever they are. Not a diarrhea medication, unfortunately. Would have loved that. But Liverpool in possession of the ball, playing down Chelsea's right at the moment, just slowly building into it again. Not as quick a start as the first half, but the quick start conceded us a goal. So maybe we got it wrong there. And we are just building with the usual patient slot ball. No over urgency to get the ball forward and get the goal. There's plenty of time for that.
Just don't understand why Jota's on that pitch.
Free kick already for Liverpool. Gakpo playing it quickly. And utterly wasted. Utterly wasted free kick. And that's the thing. Like there was no need to play that free kick that quickly. Like let the lads get set up and do something with it. So we know halftime changes. My prediction is still 60th minute. We'll see something. I really do hope it's Jota off. I don't really care whether it's Chiesa or Nunes that goes on or Diaz from, because he has. If we're discussing Elliot needing more impact on the game, Jota really needs to have any impact on the game, because other than the free kick he won at the very start of the first half, he's done nothing so far.
Yeah.
Comments for us are turned off because, again, we don't want to be getting goals before we see them on our feed, which we can't show you, unfortunately. But we had some good ones at half time, but keep them coming. Chelsea in the box, and a very, very daisy-cutting shot from Jackson into Alisson's arms. But a nice attack from Chelsea down the right, and then Trent being sold for the dummy again. By I think it was Chalobah.
I think our feed is actually on point compared to what's on TV right now. I think we're actually ahead of the TV.
We're on point with the television.
No, we're on point with what we're seeing on Discord compared to TV.
That's a first. That's a first for us. Oh, come on. See, that's what we're talking about the final ball. We had the ball coming up towards the edge of the box, and there was 2 runs on, and we played the wrong run right into somebody whose back was turned to the ball. Chelsea with a chance now from the counter, and it's probably going to be 2. No, well won. Was that Endo?
Yep.
Endo with the save. That's what he does. He just doesn't do electric things, but he does win us the ball when we need it.
He does the dirty stuff. He
does the dirty work, yep. As I said, time and time again, he's almost like the Lucas of this team. Yeah, that's what Lucas ended up doing. He tidied up the mistakes, swept up the dirt, so to speak.
The Dyson.
He was the Dyson, yeah. A long ball from the back, but won by Chelsea, headed back to the keeper, and we start all over again without the ball. Jones looks like he's going to be bald in about 5 years. He just has that hairstyle, like that hairline about him.
It's fighting a receding hairline.
Now, the thing about the way we're playing is we haven't really played Salah into the game too much either, which is kind of unfortunate. Chelsea attack down our right side, comes to nothing though, because again they're not playing spectacularly great or anything like that. We made a mistake, conceded a goal, but after that it's been fairly even. But given that we're playing probably our second stroke third string in some cases, Salah with the ball at the corner of the box, doing his usual shimmying and not diving, shimmying and dribbling is what I was meant to say, and lost the ball, and now ball's back with Virgil. Nope, free kick.
Oh, come on.
Yellow card for Virgil there, was it?
Yeah.
Let's see this. He did leave his foot in a little bit. I mean, Lavia took the ball quickly.
I don't know. Freaking Lavia.
I mean, I'd see another ref giving that as a yellow as well. I'm not particularly upset with that. He just wasn't quick enough to get to the ball. But that's what your top defenders are supposed to do, is gauge whether they can win the ball or not. Maybe that was he should have signed for us, son. You'd have a league medal now. Chelsea wasted free kick.
He'll be in the treatment room. He'll be our new navigator. It feels like we can still go up another 2 levels in this game.
Yeah, it does. It really does. And probably with substitutions to help that kick up. Kwanzaa doing a Matip bringing the ball forward, but then losing it in a sensitive spot, and now we're in trouble. Chelsea break. Is it offside? Yes, it's offside.
Jackson, he is so crap. We'll probably end up scoring now. God.
He was miles off. That was a Nunes level offside.
That was in this day and age. Come on.
Long ball forward from a Liverpool, pressure on the Chelsea defender and out for a goal kick. Nice pressure from Gakpo. But we end up with nothing from it. Moresca looking like a well-tanned testicle there on the sideline. So it seems like this game just needs, from Liverpool perspective, somebody to come on and take it by the scruff of the neck.
Someone wants to win the game. Yeah.
Yeah. On the bench, I'm just thinking of McAllister or Diaz are the only two I can think of that do that, or both. Yeah, that'd be ideal.
Even Chiesa does. I feel like
he does tend to do that when he does get his rare appearance. He does tend to try and take the game by the scruff of the neck.
Yeah, I mean, he scored against Newcastle. You know, just
Jones winning the ball there. That was nicely done. He's really hard to
kick.
And again, I know he's getting that back, but trying to play the quick free kick when nobody's ready for it is just dumb. I don't care what level of football you play at. You won the free kick. Let's get our numbers forward and then go from there. That was really well done to win the ball. But there was no need to kick the ball there to try and play it, I don't think. I think you should have just waited.
Free kick.
Yep. Not even advantage played. So Liverpool had the ball up at Chelsea's box, and then a little bit of clashing there, but no free kick. Kwanzaa's not doing too bad, apart from that really bad Matip impression.
He's a good defender. He gets a lot of
stuff.
He is. He's only one. It's he's got more goals than Gomez.
I think the seed of doubt is more from being taken off that time.
Yeah,
but people were complaining about what it's going to do to his mental state, etc., etc. But they're professional players; they should expect to be taken off the field.
If anything, if he's got anything about him, he'll use that. And if that's what's going to break you, then you got no business in the game.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, it's a tough business for a reason.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why out of the hundreds and hundreds and millions of kids who start off with ambitions to be professional players, less than 1% end up making it because Chelsea with a second goal, scramble in the box there. Now, who can we point the finger at for this one? There's calls for a foul. We're talking about Kwanzaa there, and the camera's aiming in on Kwanzaa, so might be an own goal.
Just bigging him up.
So Costa's slow to come out and press that ball there. Down towards the 6 yard, gets sold, ball across, and Virgil actually kicks it into the Chelsea player and rebounds it into the goal. I don't think Kwanzaa had anything wrong there. He had to do something he blocked the first shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, he blocked the first shot. Kwanzaa actually came out the hero there. It's an own goal off Endo.
Yeah.
No, it was Endo. It was Endo who blocked the shot. Kwanzaa was the player the ball bounced off, but I wouldn't put that on Kwanzaa at all.
That's just a comedy of errors.
It's a comedy of errors, but Virgil should have had maybe a bit more awareness for the senior player. 2-0 Chelsea against Liverpool here. Again, we're not bothered. Here comes, is it Bradley and Darwin? That change to be predicted.
Oh, God.
56 minutes. Keystone Cops, Spencer Stewart. You're not wrong there, my friend. Not wrong there at all. Chelsea 2, Liverpool 0. Jota off, Trent off, and Bradley on, and the chaos machine on. And boy, do we need something up front to cause some sort of chaos. This will be the day to show us that you understand the offside rule, Darwin.
Just don't know from Nicholas Jackson.
I really hope Kwanzaa doesn't get any criticism for that. You mean he can't do much more than what he was doing. You can't fault a player for standing in the way.
Yeah.
Like on a pinball situation in the box. Enzo down. Somebody's getting a card. Could be Van Dijk. Nope. Could be Kwanzaa, actually. No, he got the ball there. Yeah, I don't know what that was about. He gets the yellow card anyway, but he got the
That's so stupid. He got the ball.
The game's gone, as they say. The game is gone. Until if we get, the 2 goals back, and then it's back again. So here's the issue. Darwin Núñez has just passed the ball to Becker, to Alisson, from like 20 yards from his own goal. Instead of pushing up and trying to help us get the goal, that's his problem. He doesn't understand positional sense at all.
Yeah.
Right to have all the energy, but we had this with Andy Carroll before, where he was everywhere except where he should have been. And that goes back. My theory is that players like Andy Carroll and Darwin Núñez that are like early maturing players, because you can see clips of Darwin Núñez when he was like 15 or 16 or something like that, and he was like gigantic compared to his teammates. Yeah. They end up being like the best players on their team at the youth level, and they end up like doing everything. Yeah, and they end up doing everything. And because of that, that's what their mentality becomes. Oh, I have to do everything, instead of just focusing on at the top level where they need to be. So 2-0 Chelsea, maybe the 3rd loss of the season. Nobody's going to care too much about the loss, but it'd be nice to not lose it and keep, the two losses for the season.
Yeah, at least Arsenal lost yesterday, so close down.
That was points. And United lost as well, 4-3 against Brentford, but that's flattering for United.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You're 4-1 down at one point. So if the first half was a little bit more controlled and even between the two teams, we seem to have fallen apart this one.
Yeah.
Free kick Chelsea, quick one taken again, but they seem to be able to do a lot more with their the quick free kicks than we do.
I mean, you can tell the 3 points mean more to them than it means to us, unfortunately.
I mean, I think didn't Slot say something along the lines of, this is already the preseason for next season.
Yeah.
Shot from Chelsea there, from Jackson, because Kwanzaa let him. I think Kwanzaa's out in his head now.
I think so. It's not even his fault. I feel bad for him. Well, it wasn't.
No, that is a very true thing. He's not at fault for the goal, but I think he's in his head.
Yeah.
And to me, that kind of suggests that having a sports psychologist on staff is way more important than a throw-in coach. Salah with the ball. Oh, come on. Find the ball dreadful again. Could have got one back there.
Diaz, please, bring on Diaz.
Salah does all the hard work there and then just spoils the pass. Ball back with Virgil, who's asking for movement and runs, but nothing's happening.
Our midfield is shocking. And Jones has been okay.
Another terrible final ball. That was Bradley that time. We're getting the ball into the box.
What's that corner? I'll take Elliot off and bring on Macca.
Or Chiesa. Why not? Why not? Give us a smile, Arnie. Oh, corner in, header from Van Dijk, 5 yards over. The world keeps turning. Nobody cares. Chiesa's still on the bench. All is right in the world.
Smiling.
It's like when you're drunk and you're getting all dizzy, and they tell you, put your hand on the ground to center yourself and ground yourself. If you're not sure whether you're in reality or not, just see if Chiesa is on the bench or on the pitch. If he's on the pitch, then you have mental problems, my friend. You need to go and see a mental health expert instantly, because you're not living in reality. Nice recovery there from Endo, or was it Jones? Jones. I mean, he doesn't come out this bad at all, this performance.
No, he doesn't. I was just thinking that out of all of them, he's probably been
if you're like have any sort of self-awareness and you are Harvey Elliott, then you ask yourself, why is Jones starting more than I am? And that's why he's consistent and he imposes himself. He's not perfect by any means, and I don't think he's technically as talented as Harvey Elliott, but he imposes himself. Jones is in the game,
but he wants the ball all the time.
Yeah,
like Elliott, he doesn't. It's like he'll shy away from it if he's prefer making a mistake.
Bradley has some jets on him. Free kick for Liverpool. He has some jets on him. I like that. Free kick for a foul on Salah outside of the Chelsea box. Nice little move in there, and then just crashed over. And he slipped, to be fair, as well, before that, Salah. He'd be more sure-footed. Who knows what would have happened. Lavia just sounds like a soap to me.
Yeah.
What are you getting the wife for Christmas? Well, I think I'll get her some Lavia soap. It's supposed to be good for your pores. Van Dijk getting some instructions in Dutch there while he gets a drink. Chiesa looking on. I remember what instructions were. I had those once.
I think Chiesa's going to have to learn Dutch.
Yeah. Salah, Elliott, and another quick free kick, utterly wasted, and out for a throw. Utterly wasted.
If Bradley can stay fit, he's got something about him. It's just some damn hammies.
Just needs to get rid of that stupid beard. I think it's weighing him down. It's counterweighting. Gakpo with a Gakpo with a great cross into the back post.
That was good defending.
Yeah, it was good defending. Knocked out for another corner for Liverpool. Yes, he got his head right on the end of it. But to be fair, it's not difficult to beat Darwin Núñez to a headed ball.
It could have gone anywhere, but yeah, it was.
Tsimikas with the corner on our left side. Ball in, goes nowhere. Back pass from Chelsea and out for a throw for Liverpool at the halfway line.
Come on, please bring on McAllister.
From the evil Bond villain. It's about the goatee. If you let your goatee go all the way back there, you look like a Bond villain, as far as I'm concerned. If you shave off the top part like Bradley does and just leave this part here, you look like a 90s hipster. That's what's gone wrong with him. He's probably injured because he's playing too much hacky sack. That's what it is. He's playing too much hacky sack. And it's stretching muscles he shouldn't be stretching as a professional footballer. Liverpool back with possession of the ball again, and Harvey Elliott almost losing it, and then smacking it into the Chelsea player because
shoot. I can't.
It's like schoolboy football here from Liverpool at the box.
Tsimikas, go.
That would be great if Tsimikas got the goal, but honestly, it's It's almost desperation. So Zoboslai's coming on, and McAllister, it looks like. Or is that
Oh my
Robbo?
God. No, it's McAllister.
It's McAllister. That will be 4 of the 5 subs. So Chiesa's chance is getting smaller and smaller.
Oh God.
Salah with a ball in, and
Did I hit the post?
it's Darwin Núñez. It must have.
God, probably didn't even hit the post.
No, it wasn't even that on
target.
target.
Oh, he was going to hit the corner flag.
Headed it out to the corner flag.
How was that
Useless
possible?
waste of space. Endo off for Zoboslai and
How
McAllister
crap
on.
must Chiesa be for Núñez to come on before him? My God. Aye.
And Elliot off for Zoboslai. So that's one. Who's going to get that last? So I have to imagine it's Jones slotting back into the 6.
Yeah. Or,
and then McAllister box to box. I mean, it's a double pivot, but usually one sits a bit more and one goes forward a bit more. Almost like an 80-20 thing. 64% possession, or was that 54% possession for Liverpool, but only 7 shots and 1 shot on target. That is depressing.
And that was the one earlier in the first half.
Yeah. The Gakpo shot.
Yeah, I don't think Chiesa comes on because Diaz is still on the bench.
I spoke about this. I think it was one of the pre-matches, if not a post-match. Not a post-match, Thursday. Is, if you track the data of our shots on target have gone consistently downhill since Christmas. So we're getting more shots, but our shots on target are getting less and less and less. We went from like an average of 5, which is what you want to be champions, shots on target per game, to like 2. Simicast getting angry here.
Yeah, Chiesa. I just remember Diaz is on the bench, so Chiesa is definitely not coming on. Yeah, he managed to go back to Liverpool.
It'll be Diaz, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Diaz or Robbo. Now, I think every Liverpool fan is probably saying the same thing here, is that we don't really care about the win or the loss. It has no bearing on anything, but I'd like us to score. If we lose this 2-0, I think that'd be horrific. Ball into the back, and
come on.
Is that it? It was I don't want to hear the defenses of him. He's not a number 9. Not at this level.
It's not anything. I don't know what he is.
I mean, for such a big lad, he consistently gets pushed off the ball as well. Just do something.
Stick your leg out.
He used to be the weakest 6'2" player I've ever seen. Even Crouch had more meat on him.
Yeah.
He's lacking a funky dance. That's what it is. He needed a robot.
Brain cells.
Chelsea making changes here. Somebody's coming on for somebody.
Nicholas Jackson.
Jackson's walking off the bench thinking he didn't want to stop until he got enough. That took you a second, Suze. It took you a second.
Oh, God. It's going to go look at a man in the mirror.
Seriously, yep. You score, you don't score. It's as black and white as that. And then you go home to we could do this all night. We could do this all night.
The game's not a thriller.
Liverpool with the ball down the left. Gakpo. Jones back to Gakpo in the box. Get something on it. Corner for Liverpool. Cucurella, who we've mocked consistently, but actually hasn't put a foot wrong today, to be fair to him.
Yeah. We haven't attacked him enough.
Yeah, that is also a true statement. But he hasn't done terribly bad. If I was Simicast, I'd swipe that kid's coffee there. Corner in, and absolutely nothing from it. Chelsea with the break now. They've got numbers forward and plenty of space to attack into, but we recover. We were all under Klopp, all about those marginal gains, hence the throw-in coach and all that. But marginal gains only really matter when you get all the other stuff right.
Yeah,
and you're looking to squeeze that last ounce. Like second half of this season, even though we've won the league, we haven't always got the fundamentals right. So I'm not even sure what a throw-in coach would have done for us. we needed that rotation, I think, at times that we complained about. But now, to be fair, Arnie Slot can look at us all and go, well, you wanted rotation, you got it, look what happened.
Yeah. We won the league by 15 points.
Yeah. Allison with the ball, no options whatsoever. Nunes is probably still chasing that ball out to the corner flag that he headed. And then we're just playing the ball around at the back, and we're probably going to lose it here and concede the third goal because nobody's doing any sort of movement to help the man on the ball. Yeah, Allison's going to have to go long, and which he does, into the halfway line, and we lose that there because who needs a tall number 9 who can't head a ball? Oh, no, there he is there. Oh, I got the player wrong. So obviously with the ball, we're sending it back out to Salah, bringing him more into the game in this second half. But unfortunately, we're not doing anything with it with the final ball. Which is why in fantasy football land, I would be not unhappy whatsoever about trying to get Kevin De Bruyne in for a season next year, because he'll show everybody how to actually create a chance with a pass. I think that's what we lack. We don't really have that consistent finding an assist. We create chances, but they're not always the best positioned chances for the receiver. But like somebody like De Bruyne or a David Silva, who you can put the ball on a dime, literally, what coordinates do you want this? Okay, I'll put it exactly there and nowhere else. Corner for Liverpool.
Thiago.
Thiago, yeah. For that one game a season he was fit for. Thiagon.
Oh, him and Macca, that would have been
that terrible joke was brought to you by Standard Chartered. Corner for Liverpool, ball comes in and nothing. Another clearance from Chelsea because we are terrible at corners. At least today.
The corners itself are good. It just doesn't help that we don't have the players in there.
I don't want to be ungenerous there, but was that Kwanzaa or Jones who gave that ball away there? Literally passed it into the Chelsea players' feet in midfield. Chelsea recover. Nunes goes chasing. He's on his own. I wouldn't fault him for not being able to win anything there. He's fairly isolated, but it's back heels galore today. They're all doing them. Chelsea on the attack, snuffed out. And a nice clearance forward from Liverpool. Mistake touch there. Szoboszlai with it, but we're not going to do anything with it, though. That's the problem. This is going to end up dying on the vine. Salah taking players on, cutting back in, and no shot there. Ball to the back post. Header. Go. Oh, close. Wide from Salah.
Oh, that's probably the best move of the match.
That was the best move of the match, and also closer to the post than Nunes' effort was. Now, good old Charlie Hughes, who was much maligned as the FA technical director from the 80s, the one who championed the long ball game as the national game. With that kind of pass there was exactly what he talked about. Just get it to the back of the defence.
Yeah.
Because that's where it's hard to spot players. And then get it to the back of the defence and then get players on the back post.
Lavia getting shit for Liverpool fans.
I mean, he knows himself.
Yeah.
He could have a league winner's medal now. Instead, he's stuck with Maresca, the human testicle. And just on cue, the camera shows him. Liverpool with the ball at the halfway. And Chelsea, they seem happy to sit in now and defend the 2-goal lead. They don't really need to do much more. 78 minutes on the clock. Still Chelsea 2, Liverpool 0. Doesn't look like it's going to change anytime soon for Liverpool, but we need a Firmino moment. That was a foul throw. We need a Firmino moment there. Some little bit of magic. It is turning into a bit of a basketball game here. Up one end, down the other. Chelsea on the counter attack. And nice blockage there, but this is possibly the third goal here. No, it's not. Well saved by Alisson. That was a great save, in fact.
Yeah.
And we slow down the counter because everybody's gone, well, if you give it to Nunes, it's coming back at us.
Oh, my God.
I mean, fair play to Alisson. It was an unnecessarily great save.
Yeah.
Like it's the save you make when you're still looking to get points for the league, not when you've won it already.
That's why he's the best in the world.
At Oasis covers. Ball over the top for Liverpool.
Nope.
Taken by the Chelsea keeper.
And that's the shame of it. Chelsea's keepers was one of the worst keepers I've seen. We haven't tested him once.
We haven't tested him at all, no. And this is what I hate about the over-reliance on the passing games. You forget that not every goal has to be a well-worked, attractive, geometric goal. Like you just get shots on target. If you can do that in one long pass, then do that all game. Cole Palmer cutting it back. It eventually finds its way after a bit of pinball back to Alisson. Those GPS vests make them look like hunchbacks. Unless Cole Palmer's an actual... Cole Palmer hits the post, actually, from a lateral angle.
Wow.
That would have been a classic. That would have been a classic goal.
Yeah.
Chelsea on the attack again in our box. Top right corner, or Liverpool's left. Cutting in. Here's the shot. Nope. Out for a corner. Or did he get any deflection off that at all? That's what happens when I mock his haircut. I have to say that
would have been a great goal.
That's why Cole Palmer is as valued as he is. He is capable of that. That's what our game is lacking today. Somebody who will do that with a better haircut, obviously. Chiesa's coming on for Simicast. Oh, my word. So how does that work? Jones back? It has to be Jones right back, yeah?
I don't know. He's probably going to say, well, I put Chiesa on as left back.
Does this mean he gets his winner's medal now?
I don't know. How many minutes do they need to play?
They only need to make 5 appearances, I think.
Oh, really? Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll have to have a look at this and see who's playing where. Gakpo stuck with the ball at the back there. I mean, it's 8 minutes to go. Like, do you really need to be this pretty? I mean, I'm not advocating just smashing the ball forward at every opportunity a la Wimbledon, but do we really need to be this considerate and intellectual getting the ball into a shooting position? I don't think so. Here's Gakpo with the ball coming up the left. Ball to the back post.
Come on, shoot.
No. Get the shot on target.
Right, that's it.
Win the ball back outside the box. We might be going 3 at the back here.
Yeah, I think that's what we've done.
And
keep it on.
In. Still in. And whatever formation we're playing, we're still up with the ball, and it's out for a corner from Salah. You might get a replay of this because I think he should have shot. Instead, he tried to give it to, like, he should have done a Cole Palmer and just smashed the ball across the goal there. 6 corners to 2 from Liverpool. Chiesa already knackered. No match fitness whatsoever. He's coming back off again. He's not really. We have our 3 big players up there, but only 2 of them look like. Jones isn't. He's not short at all either. Chiesa should. If I was Chiesa, I'd be sitting out the back. Oh,
let's go! Come on,
Virgil with a goal. 2-1 with 6 minutes plus injury time to go.
What captains do.
That was that. I mean, we've had enough of those that we could have done that. Who took that corner, by the way?
Costas.
Oh, we said he was the best corner taker to ever play for Liverpool, Susie. You heard me say that. I said that. I said that earlier on today. I didn't say anything else to the contrary.
No, it's not Costas because Costas came off. I think it was Macca.
Oh, it was Macca. There you go. I always said Costas was the worst corner taker for Liverpool. I even said it earlier on in this game. Chelsea with a split pass down there to the side, and they're on the attack and they're in the box, and we get numbers around it at least, but still danger. Curled, saved by Allison. That was really good. I really like Cole Palmer. I wish we could get him. That's like the creative. That was some bend on that.
I think it's deflected.
That's the kind of creativity we kind of need. I bet Chiesa could give us if he started more games.
Yeah.
And just for anybody who's interested in trivia, Chiesa is Italian for cheese, so his name is Fred Cheese. It's not really. I think it's Formaggio.
I thought it was Quizza.
Stop dropping your knowledge here. Show off. Is it? I thought it was Formaggio. I thought it was like the French fromage.
I thought it was Quizzo, but all right.
Okay, queso Spanish.
Oh yes.
Queso Spanish. Look, I speak. Gakpo taking on 2 here out on the left. I speak more Spanish than they speak Gaelic. It's ridiculous. Oh, bad ball in. Well, it was a good ball in. Bad vision. Control. Chelsea on the counter attack, but we get numbers back at least. So we'll see what happens here. And a big Darwin Núñez style shot from the handsomest man on the pitch. That's Neto, by the way, not Peter Beardsley. That was a Darwin Núñez level shot. That was closer to the street than it was to the goal. Is that Reece
James?
James, yeah. I like Reece James. When he has a good game, he's very bloody good. I just don't think he has an awful consistency of good games.
He hardly ever plays.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It's just so.
I mean, he would fit right in with our team with all the injuries.
Oh yeah.
Enzo coming off, pointing to his haircut there in the replay. Look, I paid millions for this.
I hate that guy.
James gets the captain's armband because somebody has to. I don't understand players blessing themselves when they come on or off of the pitch. Like, thank you, God, for making those sinners lose to us. Makes no sense to me. Liverpool pressing now. 88 minutes. 2 minutes left in normal time plus whatever injury time is allowed. It's possibly going to turn into an actual game for the last little bit. Liverpool recover the ball. Good work by Bradley and McAllister there at the cover.
Bradley's done well.
And then we lose it again in midfield.
Salah's been poor, actually.
He has genuinely poor. But you kind of have to question whether any of that is to do with who was playing on the team in the first half. You know, the kind of the lack of understanding in the midfield.
Yeah.
But individually, he has been for a while. Let's be honest. I know we've won the league with him and all that, but he has for the second half of the season been not great.
Just before Ramadan started, he kind of like tailed off.
Now, once this is done, we'll do a short post-match for anybody who's interested, because Sir Z and I have, we've other things to be doing. Personally, I'm going to count my chess piece collection. I don't play chess, I just collect pieces. So I think it's a free kick, Liverpool down at the right back spot. Foul on Salah by, it looked like Palmer there. Alisson's going to take it. 10 seconds of normal time. Who knows? They haven't shown what the injury time is going to be yet. We probably do maybe after the final whistle, 15 minutes, 20 at most, Suzy.
That's fine.
That works for us both for the post-match. Because what post-match can you have, really, other than who cares? We're league champions, and that's all that matters. Chelsea with the break here. We're trying to win it back in midfield. Ref played advantage, but he could have played a foul there.
Overlap there. Like they'll get a third before we get a second.
It could be, yep. And I have to say, outside of mistakes, Darwin Núñez has been invisible. Another one who doesn't help himself.
Yeah.
I won't be sad to see the back of him. I was kind of sad Carroll never worked out.
I think I'll be sad knowing we didn't get to see his full potential. He showed a lot at Benfica. It's just
but let's be kind of honest here. Like it's not a one team league by any stretch, but it's much like Spain and Scotland and all that. Outside of the Sporting, Porto, and Benfica, getting much.
I mean, he got a hat trick against Alisson.
That is true also.
And by all accounts, Klopp's there. Like Virgil and Alisson, they'll push us to choose him over Isaac.
Let's make sure Alisson is never part of the transfer committee. Then. Stick to the guitar, son. But it's all well and good posting numbers in the leagues where there's a huge gap between the big teams that always win it and then everybody else. But you have to do it at this level. Which is I wouldn't say no to a Harry Kane transfer as a number 9 for a season or two.
Yeah, I actually said
he's a good goal scoring forward, and he's still fit and healthy, and he, maybe he wants a chance at a Premier League title before he retires for good.
I mean, there's bigger name strikers that have failed.
For sure.
Shevchenko and God, there's so many others, and it's an unforgiving league, that's for sure.
Yep. Fernando Morientes didn't work out, and he was genuinely top class. 2.5 minutes of the 5 of injury time left. Liverpool have the ball in the Chelsea half. Just had a throw in there. It's gone back to Kwanzaa, and now back out to the left to Salah. Plays it into the box very badly, and it somehow gets it back.
Aye.
But then loses again, and Chelsea are on the attack. On the counter, 2 against 4. I think this one's done. I think this is the scoreline. The quality's just not there. The will to win is probably also not there equally for Liverpool. There's no need to win. I mean, you could cast all sorts of psychological aspersions on that, but after a grueling campaign, you can allow for players to be, mentally taking their feet off the gas when you don't need to do any winning anymore. But we did score, so I'm happy with that part. We just, there's a lot of Liverpool fans who will defend players like Elliott and defend players like Núñez, but the proof is in the pudding. Very bad misplaced pass there.
I think that's the shame of it. The French players that want to be a part of this team did themselves no favours.
Cucurella's taken his life into his own hands, taking on a GAA player. If you play Gaelic football, you don't want to mess with that lad.
He looked at him and was like, shit, how do I get out of this?
He looked at him and went, he's Northern Irish, which already has a threatening sounding accent as it is, and he played Gaelic football, which has no real rules to it. I'm probably not going to come out with this with my full health, so I'll just let it go. Kept the ball in there, well done. So I was like, another player I didn't actually see in this half since he came on. And then penalty to Chelsea, because Szoboszlai, who did nothing since he came on, puts Kwanzaa in a quandary. Poor Kwanzaa, he's been put into some really bad moments in this game.
That's the story of his season.
That's a terrible pass. That is a terrible pass into Kwanzaa. He should have played it to McAllister.
Kwanzaa's mistakes have come because of other people.
Yeah.
That's the story of the season.
Maresca is true that penalty, they're winning the league. Don't comfort Kwanzaa. Go over and smack Szoboszlai in the face for that. It was a ridiculous pass. Hospital ball is what we would have called it back in the day.
Poor kid.
That was Szoboszlai getting jealous because me and you, he's been listening to us on the bench, waxing lyrical about Neto's good looks and basically me. So Cole Palmer to hit this over the bar by a mile.
Bottom right.
And then the referee will call the final whistle. 3rd loss of the season for Liverpool. Now 3-1. Not much more to say about that. (3-1) Chelsea, Liverpool. They are I don't get it. I know they want to get into the Champions League and all that, but they're playing Liverpool's second string, who've already won the league at home. Oh no, just realised he hasn't scored in a while. Isn't that right? Cole Palmer. That's his first goal in a while. That's why. Yeah, now I get it. Still stupid, but I get it now.
But he's a funny player. It's like he doesn't care who he plays for. He just wants to play.
Yeah, no, he's a proper baller, as they say. That was actually it was a well taken penalty, and Alisson could have got that if it was a weaker penalty by a fraction. But that was really well placed and well paced. But not worth that celebration. It's really not worth that amount of celebration. Maresca he comes almost across like a lighter version of Arteta. Yeah. And we have 190 something people watching us, so we're really happy and thankful that you stuck with this craziness. Unfortunately, we couldn't get a win for it. Not that we had anything to do with anything. Final whistle. no, like disdain on anybody's faces from the Liverpool bench. Just we don't care. We've got medals to be taken. But I do agree with you, Susie, that we will probably put a full straight side out against Arsenal.
Yeah.
And that'll be the last time we'll see a full straight side for the season, probably, like the full starting thing. I really hope Kwanzaa doesn't get any you can go to the comments now, actually. I really hope he doesn't get any sort of criticism for anything there. I cannot see what he did wrong.
That's kind of been
that wasn't, as he said, wasn't created by somebody else in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, he's made mistakes this season, like with the own goal and I think one of the other games, and just wasn't his fault. You know, he was kicked at him and he went in, and he's overcompensated for someone else's mistake, and he just been unlucky enough to come off him. I think that comment he made about Matip last season, he put a target on his back, and now he's got the Matip curse on him, so he needs to have Matip pee on his leg or something.
What did he say? Did he say he wanted to be like Matip, or I don't know who that Matip guy is? He's always in the treatment room.
Matip got that injury and he came on, and then he said something like, "My condolences to him, but this is my chance to take his spot now," or something along them lines. And like you just don't say that. I think Virgil had to come out and kind of clarify what he was trying to say, and you know, it was he got his words wrong, but yeah, it's yeah.
I'll take the Discord off there for both of us now. We can relax and let her. Neil Caldwell says an awful performance. Maybe Neil. But you know, you can't fault lads for maybe taking it a little bit easy after they've won the league title with games to spare. But yeah, I mean, you can't even dig into that like as an analysis. We it's the third loss of the season. We've got to the last 4 games left in the league program to get our third loss of the season. I think the only thing matters now is is our last home game the last game of the season?
Yeah, Palace.
Yeah, so we get to pick up the trophy in the last game of the season. It'll be a proper celebration. I mean, that's a game we all want to. I have to actually get the day for that, so I'll make sure I'm not in work, so we can enjoy that one. You know, like winning the trophy last week winning the league rather was fantastic. But kind of looking back at it now, as much as they were all relieved, you kind of wish they'd held off on the pitch celebrations till the last day. You know, just walk off and go, right, we've done that bit. Because they're going to have to do all of the same stuff they just did all over again. All of the singing with the crowd, all of the...
Hey, it's a up for the season we won it in COVID season. So I think,
I could get that, but most of them weren't there.
Yeah. I mean, Salah, Alisson.
I mean, Salah, Alisson, and Van Dijk, and Robertson, I could understand, but the rest of them, most of them weren't there. Like, so, I could understand them doing it, but you know, it's not going to take any shine off it. We're actually going to pick up the trophy
exactly
this time, and have something to show for it. But yeah, we'll be on this for 5 more minutes, I think, for the post match. If you want to get any comments in, but again, really, really thankful for anybody who stuck with it. And as we can see down at the bottom, Liverpool 1, Chelsea 3. Good for Chelsea. We don't really care about the score. Performance was, I think, what you would expect from that lineup at the start. But again, let us be very, very clear. And for anybody who thinks that, you know, football is romantic and all that kind of stuff, and wants to have opinions on it, it's a harsh business. If you want to stake your claim, you have to be mentally ready for it. You have to be technically and tactically able to do something, and you have to stand out. You have to do something that takes the game by the scruff of the neck. If Costa Simicas wants to know why Robertson gets in ahead of him every week, it's because Robertson does something useful every single week.
Yeah,
it's not that he doesn't have a bad game, but you know, Simicas just doesn't grab the game by the scruff of the neck regularly enough. Same for Elliott in the midfield. If he wants to know why you can't get in ahead of Szoboszlai and McAllister, is because they grab the game by the scruff of the neck. So that those are the things they have to work on. But definitely, I think, Susie, we saw the last knockings of some players and why they're going to be the last knockings. We did our little fantasy football thing the other night, Do you think now more than ever, the players that we were like, waxing lyrical about then, whoever they may be, we're going to need to see those key positions filled up with quality talent, aren't we?
Yeah, 100%. And we could question Slot. It's like we keep saying, Diaz isn't a number 9, but he's been used as a number 9 because the other number 9s we have are shit. And we've shown it. We've Jota, he's done. Nunes is Nunes. Why he carries on playing for us, we'll never know. And there was a time in football where where players were worried about their backups coming on, and maybe outplaying them and giving manager food for thought. But again, today, and like the Plymouth game, Plymouth game, right? You can take that with a pinch of salt. But today, the players that came on, that started, no one on that subs bench or the players that were dropped for this game have anything to be scared of for next season, because they know the quality behind them is a huge drop off. I love Elliot, but again, he's shown why he's not a first team choice. Jota's done. Jones, he didn't really put a foot wrong, but again, going into next season, it's the flip of a coin between him and Szoboszlai, and I think both of them are going to fight for that one position. McAllister and Gravenberch, you can tell we missed them. Gravenberch, obviously, you can see his legs have been run ragged, but we still miss that kind of player there. Endo, and but to Endo's credit, he's accepted his role in that squad. So just disappointed in players like Elliot. Kwanzaa, he's unlucky, but he's definitely levels below Konate for sure. Like I said, Jota, we've spoken about him, and even on Discord, it's like he's just done. So yeah, we have a lot of improvements to make. I liked Bradley when he came on. If Bradley can stay fit, and that's the biggest question mark over him, he'll be a worthy replacement for Trent. I mean, he's got pace on him. He's narky. He can defend better. It's just key. It's just staying fit, and I think that's going to be his biggest issue. So I think these last few games are giving Slot a confirming a few things. I'd like to see Chiesa get more game time. I don't think you can base last 10 minutes of this game on Chiesa and use that to beat him on the head with. I think that's unfair, especially given the amount of chances that Nunes and Jota are getting.
I think on the Chiesa thing is, I mean, I don't think anybody would be surprised if he's not here next season. It's just there's something going on where Slot just doesn't want to play him, or can't play him, or just doesn't like him, or his brand of soap. I don't know. There's something weird about it, because he clearly has talent when he does come on the field and he gets.
And he seems like a nice guy. Like the moment he came in, and he's just like, you can tell how much it meant to him to be at Liverpool. And then you look at him on the bench, even in training, he doesn't look like he has attitude. He doesn't. He's not one of them like throws his hands in the air, and he's just like, even social media friendly. Like, I just don't get it. Like, you must really, you must have done something for you to pay Nunes ahead of him.
I think in terms of the academy lads, though, as well, because we always want to see them break through. But do you think, my feeling is that as people get overly romantic about it, and we're seeing with the younger players, there is a gulf that they need to breach to make it, and more than likely, any players we bring in to replace or to boost the squad, they're going to come through the transfer market, really, aren't they?
I think so. I think if you look at the players, you got McConnell. He looks okay. He looks very much. Who's that player that left Man United? The Scottish player. He reminds me of him a bit. McTominay, like just that old-fashioned, that kind of working like a dog kind of midfielder, and and there's a place for that in our game, but I don't think it's not enough to break into the first team. Naoni, who's very lightweight, he might have a lot of talent, but he's definitely like when you compare him to, the Barcelona kid, there's levels between them. I think our Wardy Academy kids badly obviously looks like the one who's going to take that next step, but he just needs to stay fit. Dan's is another one, needs to stay fit. I think he needs to go out on loan again to another season. But yeah, like you said, I think we need to bring players in outside of the club to go from a position of strength and attack the Premier League again next season and hopefully win the Champions League as well. Because it just seems like there's a big gulf between what we have now and the players that are coming through the academy.
On that, we talked during the game about Slot saying, the last 4 games are essentially the beginning of the preseason. Do you think he's going to give these players enough, I hate to use the term, but almost like enough rope to hang themselves, so to speak, in a crude way? He's going to give them enough chances to say at the end, look, you had your shot. It's not going to work out for me with you. So, we won't stand in your way and we won't make it difficult for you to leave, but you've no future here and here's the evidence.
Yeah, I think that's the conversation is, if he hasn't had it already, I think that's a conversation that we'll have. And I think just some of the examples, like I don't think you can use a Plymouth game as an example to beat anyone over the head with. I think that's kind of unfair. We've seen today, you make so many changes, you're going to have a disjointed performance. So I'm not sure what he's expecting to see, but in saying that, Baddy came on and he stepped up and he had a better performance than Trent did all game. Jones, he did okay, and he looks like a player that I think Slot wants to keep. I think if Jones leaves, it'll be on Jones's own accord, because I think Jones really, he has that self-confidence that he feels like he should be in the first team week in, week out. Elliot did himself no favors, and again, Nunes, I think writing's on the wall. I think he's accepted, the whole world has accepted that he's going to leave. And Jota's another one. He's got no arguments. He can't stay fit, and now that he's played games when he is fit, he's not contributing to anything. Diaz is getting probably an extension by the sounds of it. So that would be good. And we need more direct players. We don't have enough direct attackers. We need direct attacking midfielders as well. I'd love for McAllister to be moved up a bit more. So getting a good number 6 will be key, I think. Not like a Fabinho style, but someone who can complement Gravenberch. And maybe that might be Bahetic, maybe. But yeah, it's going to be a big summer, and it just feels so ironic to say, like, we're winning the league by 15 points, maybe more over the next 3 weeks. It's a big rebuild as well that's needed, and we're not talking. And the older players that we thought would be leaving are the ones that are staying, signing new contracts, except for Robertson. But it's like that mid-age players that just aren't pulling, aren't showing their worth, and that the levels between the first team and the backups, there's a big gulf there.
And then just for for Salah, he obviously wants to break records. We know he's going to get at least one more season, maybe a season and a half to do so. But do you think it's weighing on his mind a little bit to try and get it done as quickly as possible, and maybe he's overstimulated, so to speak, going into these games?
I don't know. He doesn't seem like that type of player where he allows himself to get beaten up mentally. I think when you look at it, he knows his game. I don't think he's a better critic of his game than himself, and he'll look at it, and then he'll also look at the chances that he doesn't get. Because if he's being man marked out of the game, that should allow the other forwards to be able to score, and that's what we saw with Mane and Bobby. Like, if Mane was marked out, Salah was free. If Salah was marked out, Mane was free, or Bobby was free, and we don't have that. put that with Trent being in and out of the team, and then obviously Trent leaving, that's another supply that is missing, and our midfield just can't pass or create. Not when McAllister's sitting in that midfield anyway. So I think Salah will point to the fact that he's not getting enough quality service, and I don't think he'll take that criticism. I don't think he'll criticize himself for that.
And then finally, before we wrap it up, does it matter? This loss today, it really doesn't, does it? I mean, it's bragging rights now for this. Look, if we lost to Arsenal, I think that's the one we really probably should win for the ego of it all. But other than that, I mean, we got Arsenal, Crystal Palace, and
Brighton.
You know, like we the lads can be allowed to take it a little bit easy. I can't think of any logical reason why we'd be upset at the performance. We can recognize it wasn't our best one, but we can also recognize it was the second team essentially. It was, as you said at the start, it was an FA Cup lineup almost. But we're really just looking forward to that last home game, aren't we? And just getting to see the trophy lift, and then taking a break for a few months because there's no World Cup this year. Yeah, there's no World Cup this year. So and I don't think anybody cares about the Club World Cup in a red shirt.
No, the only good thing about that is that the transfer window opens early, like for about 10 days, where we hopefully might be able to get some players in and start our pre-season. I mean, I'll be happy with 5 points from the next 3 games and just, call it a day. But the biggest disappointment, obviously, I mean, I don't like losing and whatever. It's just that the players that were trying to stake a claim or trying to knock on Slot's door for regular playing time, they disappointed, and I think that's the biggest disappointment from today.
I think I agree, but on another hand, it just sometimes it's better to know, and then at least what you need to do going forward. You need to go. You can't romantically hang on to that player or players that you want to make if they're not doing the job. Then time to be replaced. That is the nature of the professional football game. That's why it's the hardest game in the world.
I think out of all of them, Elliot is the most, because that boy is still young, got a lot of talent. We've seen that. Like Costas, what you expect, right? You can go. Nunes, you know what you're getting, right? You can go. Jota's done, but Elliot was the most disappointing because he can stake a claim, and he just didn't.
He just didn't. But that's a story for another day. As for us here, if you watched us, number 1, thank you for sticking with us. Number 2, if you haven't liked and subscribed already for all of the social media channels, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, etc., and joining us on the Patreon, then you should do it right now. It's what the cool kids do. We will be back tomorrow morning for the Monday morning coffee show, and then the Monday morning pod, or Monday afternoon pod, rather, evening pod. Pardon me. Actually, it depends where you are. If you're in the West Coast, it's probably the afternoon pod. But the Monday night podcast, as always, with the lads to discuss and dissect this game a little bit more. But for Sir Z and I, it's time to enjoy the rest of our Sunday before we get back into the swing of things for next week. We will see everybody at the next one. And thank you for joining us. It was a pleasure. We just wish we had a better result. But ultimately, we're league champions, so it doesn't bloody well matter, does it? No, it doesn't. That's what's great about being Liverpool. So Z, thank you for sticking with us for the 2 hours. And everybody else, have a good weekend, the rest of the weekend. Peace out. And here comes the funky music.